How to identify real silk. When summer comes, all people like wearing the garment which is breathable and cool, so the silk garment becomes their favorite. They go to the garment store and want to buy a piece of fashionable silk clothing. However, when they are presented with variety of silk garments, they are confused because their prices vary greatly from one another. Some are very expensive, and some very cheap. Are there any difference between them, and is it possible that some of them are made from false silk? You may have the same question with them if you are going to buy the silk garment. Actually, real silk refers to cocoon fiber, including crepe de China, tussar silk, cassava silk and anthurius silk, etc. Crepe de China is made from the silk produced by a silkworm, tussar silk is produced by a tussa, anthurius silk by an airy silkworm and cassava silk a cassava silkworm. If you want to know whether a garment is made from real silk, you can identify it with the following ways. 1. Identify it by observation. You can identify whether a piece of clothing is made from real silk by observing its luster and color. The silk fiber has a special sheen. It is bright but has not harsh glare, so if the clothing is too bright, it must be false. Meanwhile, the color of real silk is natural and even. If the color of silk is too crisp, it must be false because the natural fabric is hard to be dyed. 2. Identify it by touching. When touching real silk, you will feel it is very soft, and if you touch it slowly and carefully, you can feel the texture of the silk, so the silk which touches too sleek may be false. 3. Identify it by rubbing. You can rub the silk between your hands. If you hear a clear sound, it must be real. If you can't, it is false. You can also hold it tight and then release it. If it can't restore to its previous state rapidly, and if you can find some crease, it is real, because real silk is apt to wrinkle. 4. Identify it by burning. You can pull out some threads from the edge of silk and ignite it. If it is real silk, it will be burned slowly and no flame will be seen. At first, it will wither to a lump, and then you will smell an odor similar to burning hair. After it is burned, some black-brown particles, which will turn into powder if you touch it with a finger, will be remained. Finally, when you buy the silk garment, you can put the garment on the behind of your hand. If you feel it is very breathable and light, and you can hardly feel its weights, it is real.